No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. All wealth is the product of labor. The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. For in all the states of created beings capable of law, where there is no law, there is no freedom. Every man has a property in his own person. This nobody has a right to, but himself. What worries you, masters you? All mankind, being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions. The only fence against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. Education begins the gentleman, but reading, good company, and reflection must finish him. The improvement of understanding is for two ends: first, our own increase of knowledge; secondly, to enable us to deliver that knowledge to others. The discipline of desire is the background of character. Our incomes are like our shoes: if too small, they gall and pinch us, but if too large, they cause us to stumble and to trip. Government has no other end but the preservation of property. Parents wonder why the streams are bitter, when they themselves have poisoned the fountain. I have always thought the actions of men the best interpreters of their thoughts. It is one thing to show a man that he is in an error, and another to put him in possession of the truth. Fortitude is the guard and support of the other virtues. New opinions are always suspected, and usually opposed, without any other reason, but because they are not already common. The reason why men enter into society is the preservation of their property. We are like chameleons; we take our hue and the color of our moral character from those who are around us. To love our neighbor as ourselves is such a truth for regulating human society, that by that alone one might determine all the cases in social morality. As people are walking all the time in the same spot, a path appears. We should have a great fewer disputes in the world, if words were taken for what they are, the signs of our ideas only, and not for things themselves. To prejudge other men's notions, before we have looked into them, is not to show their darkness, but to put out our own eyes. All men are liable to error, and most men are, in many points, by passion or interest, under temptation to it. One unerring mark of the love of truth is not entertaining any proposition with greater assurance than the proofs it is built upon will warrant. There cannot be greater rudeness than to interrupt another in the current of his discourse. There is frequently more to be learned from the unexpected questions of a child than the discourses of men. Reading furnishes the mind only with materials of knowledge, it is thinking that makes what we read ours. Where there is no property, there is no injustice. The dread of evil is a much more forcible principle of human actions than the prospect of good. It is of great use to the sailor to know the length of his line, though he cannot with it fathom all the depths of the ocean. I have spent more than half a lifetime trying to express the tragic moment. I attribute the little I know to my not having been ashamed to ask for information, and to my rule of conversing with all descriptions of men on those topics that form their own peculiar professions and pursuits. Fashion for the most part is nothing but the ostentation of riches. Things of this world are in so constant a flux, that nothing remains long in the same state. Where all is but dream, reasoning and arguments are of no use, truth and knowledge nothing.